I'm confused with the itinerary. I need a plan.
All right, sure. So I'm just wondering, for the story of how you ended up here, you were born in northern Ukraine somewhere, and then went to the USA as a banking analyst, and then decided to come back to Ukraine, leave your super nice job to come back home as a volunteer.
Basically, yeah. I went to the US when I was 15 on a scholarship, and then got on a scholarship for university. And then I worked in New York City at Morgan Stanley Investment Banking Department. Hi, Morgan Stanley. I miss you.
Cameras over here.
Morgan Stanley is the best bank in the world. That is true. This is not kidding. Actually.
Not sponsored,
I love it.
but we
Not
could
sponsored.
be.
It could be. Hi, my MD. Yeah, and since the beginning of the war, I was doing some volunteering from the US. I was fundraising, buying tactical medicine, sending it to Ukraine. So my sister started as a combat medic in the war, and so I was helping with that for a while. And after some time, I realized I don't feel like I'm doing enough with just the fundraising, bringing stuff over. I actually want to be on the ground and participate, which I wanted from the beginning, but I found a good way to do it finally after 2 months. And I came to Ukraine, and first I joined Hospitaliers, and I went for a few rotations with them, and then I realized I want to stay with one unit instead of moving around and changing the team. I want to be with one team. I want to build good relationships with one unit and work with them and see where it needs the most help with medical evacuations and help them.
Yeah. So Hospitaliers is all volunteers for that? Wow. Okay.
Been doing it since 2014.
Yeah.
Wow.
Since the war started.
So when you showed up...
First rotation wasn't very eventful. Well, it was eventful. We just didn't have that big of a flow of injured. We maybe had like one person a day. So it was very manageable, and it was a good introduction to what it might look like in the future and I understand we need to think about in advance. And then when I went into more hot places and we had more injured, that those skills were very much transferable to understanding how to treat a lot of injured at the same time.
And was it your sister being in the military? And she's also a volunteer, right?
No, she's officially in the military now.
Or officially. Was that part of the reason you came back? Because she was already doing that too?
I would be doing this without my sister being in the military, but it does help a lot that she's went through similar things, and she can help me with lots of things, and we can exchange information. We definitely get closer this way, and we understand each other a lot better than anyone would ever understand. And we're the only two kids in the family, so it's important for us to have a good relationship. And I do consider my sister my best friend, and I hope to stay in the future. So having the very similar experience during the most difficult times of our lives is important. And plus, my dad's in the military now as well. And my mom, on the first day, she joined territory defense in the north, and she served until our state was liberated.
So then how did your family react? Were they all just kind of like, all right, this is what we're all doing? When you're like, I'm leaving my bank job.
No, I didn't tell them. I just really, I was kind of scared of their reaction. I knew they wouldn't like it. Like I made sure, I can sustain myself and I can help them financially while I'm here. Like that was something I need to take care of, so I couldn't leave as soon as the war started. But I told my sister when I was in New York. I just called my sister one day and I was like, "Oh, do you know anyone in Hospitaliers?" And she's like, "Yeah, I know this person and this. Why?" And I'm like, "Because I want to join them." And my sister was like, "Okay, I'll text them." Nothing, no questions asked. Very understandable. She's like, "I know exactly what you're doing and why." So that was easy. But when I went on Hospitaliers training, I called my mom and I was like, "Yeah, I'm kind of doing a combat medic training and I'm staying in the evening." She didn't like it, but she allegedly didn't eat for 3 days, but that was a lie. My dad would call maybe like, "Yeah, she ate."
Okay. But so your mom was saying, like, I'm not eating for 3 days, is what you did to me. And your dad's like, it's not that.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So then in the moment when you were making the decision, it was kind of more like a long build-up. It wasn't necessarily one moment where you're like, I got to apply to this right now.
It was one moment when I was like, oh, I think I can actually do it without putting my family in harsh financial situation. Because what happened is a lot of people who joined on the first day of the war, the full-scale invasion, they were not registered military until like June. So they were not paid until June. So all my family did not have any income until June. Plus, there were, in the beginning of the war, it was fucking horrible. Nobody had any bulletproof vests, nobody had any helmets, nobody had nothing.
Yeah.
So it was, at that point, it was very crucial to have for them a financial source, and for the units, and so the units can have whatever they need. So that was crucial. And yeah, and then I went to Ukraine after my graduation, first time, and then second time. After second time, I was like, no, I'm not leaving. And I was like, but I had to leave. I didn't want to leave, but I left, and I put together a plan of how I can leave for a long period of time, and planned it and executed.
But the first time here was just a visit, then the second time was with Hospitaliers?
No, second time was still to visit. Well, I was bringing supplies. I was bringing like medical medicine with me, and I was seeing my parents, my family. My sister had a few days off, but then I overstayed completely. I was supposed to come for like a few days, and I stayed for 3 weeks. And then I was like, no, I'm gonna go back to New York, get my stuff, and come back. That's what I did.
Well, when you first showed up and met other people in Hospitaliers, what was your reaction? Did you see people who really knew what they were doing, like, yes, I want to join them, or was it kind of a mess, and then you learned over time?
So before I joined Hospitaliers, as soon as I got to Ukraine, I actually went with my friend on a humanitarian run to Bakhmut. So we went into the city, and we brought, I think it was like 50 or something, like bags of food for each family to distribute like for a week or something like that. So a lot of military guys there. And I mentioned to one of them that I actually want to, like, I'll apply to Hospitaliers, but I haven't heard back from them. And he was like, oh, we work with them a lot. I can put a good word, which introduced me to some of the Hospitaliers. And, well, literally like 3 days I was in day training. And what they do is they have a training for a week. And it's very intense training of combat medicine, combat, anything like that. It's like a speed up course of a soldier/medic. And after that, the day after I finished the course, I went on my first rotation. Well, no, the next day, not even the day after, just the next day. I got my certificate, and then I was like, okay, I need to go in the morning. And I went.
Wow. Did it at least feel like you kind of had a crew of other people you're going with, you did the training with, so you're all going together?
No, I was put in a crew that was had some experience before. I was put in a crew that consists of all new people is quite dangerous. So we had a driver that was a lot more experienced than everyone else, and I had a medic who also had a few rotations in the past. So.
Yeah. Do you have any idea what happened to like the 19-year-old, the 20-year-old with the tourniquet?
Both of their arms got amputated. Yeah. I was just unnecessary. I don't like unnecessary things. I don't like unnecessary risks. I don't like unnecessary amputations. I don't like unnecessary deaths, and that's why I'm here. And with those guys, it was the first time I got very emotional when they couldn't be evacuated for a very long time. They didn't have evacuation from position, and the guys literally showed up a day after they were supposed to be evacuated, and two of them very young. It was 19-year-old and 20-year-old. 19-year-old, I remember, I brought him in my car. I set him down. I needed to look at his injuries, and I made this a tourniquet. I didn't have time on it, so I was like, "There's no time on tourniquet. Do you remember when it was put?" And he said, "Yes, I know. 19 hours ago." And he looks at me, I starts crying. This 19-year-old boy, this little boy, starts crying in my car. Just full-blown tears. And he goes, "I know it's going to be amputated, right?" And I can't say him that that's true. I can't say him that's not true, because I'd be lying. I had to go, "Everything will be okay. You're alive. We got you out. It's fine. I'm going to go to the hospital now. And they'll look at your arm. Everything will be fine. They should put an IV in you, blah, blah, blah." But it was the first time that I was actually, like, emotional. I wasn't just thinking about the injuries, because for me it was quite easy. Like, I'm a programmer by my education, so more like this is a desk tune. So when I saw the injuries, in the beginning, I'd be like, "Wait, here's the injury. I do this. Oh, I do this. I do this," and I never looked at the people before I actually did something with them with their injuries. But this time, the guy started crying before I started doing anything with him, and it was just like it was difficult emotionally. After he left, we were like, "No," and then we were waiting for position point to text us like what happens with them, and they both had their arms amputated, and it was unnecessary because their injuries were not that bad, and if they had at least a medic on the position, which they medic, we evacuated 2 days before that, because he got injured too. If they had a medic at the time, or if we were allowed to come to positions, or if somebody could take them from the positions at the time, they did not have their arms amputated.
It's like literally if someone just knew, we can stop the bleeding and then take off the tourniquets, so that way like the blood doesn't run stale and the arm has to be amputated. If someone literally just knew to take it off, they would have been okay.
Yeah, you have to be more experienced than regular person just takes tourniquet. You can't just take off a tourniquet. You have to know what you're doing. But yeah, if there is a person that is more experienced with that would work. Or if they were evacuated earlier.
Yeah. Were there times where you were actually trying to apply a broken tourniquet that just was like cheap materials and broke, or was it all friends who were trying to do this?
Since I was buying tactical medicine since the beginning of the war, I knew what a bad tourniquet and a good tourniquet was. The very first time, I remember I sent my sister some Chinese tourniquets. First thing she did, send me a picture of it broken on a person. Thank God I had another tourniquet. After that, I was like, I'm never, ever, ever in my life. That was like end of February 2022. I was like, after that, I'm never touching any cheap shit tourniquets. But unfortunately, a lot of people either don't care enough to learn about this, or don't know, or I don't know what. A lot of soldiers still have Chinese tourniquets. Most of the soldiers in the brigade I'm working with right now had fake Chinese tourniquets. The kind of that we could just take, try it a little bit, and it'll break.
Right.
And I understand soldiers have better things to worry about than what the quality of the tactical medicine is. That's something the medics should be worried about, or the commanders. But again, people are either not educated enough or whatever. A lot of the time we would see, not a lot of the time, some of the time we would see a Chinese tourniquet being applied. It didn't work. But thankfully in those cases, most of the cases that I personally interacted with, they were brought to evacuation point early enough that we could put another tourniquet on and the person would survive. There definitely are a lot of Chinese tourniquets on dead people. They just didn't work. And they didn't have another one. And didn't have anyone around them had another one.
Yeah.
Bleeding, massive bleeding is the #1 reason for death on the battlefield. If you're injured, injury is severe, you can bleed out in less than a minute. If it's just massive bleeding, 3 minutes, you can bleed out to death. So if you don't have a tourniquet, you die. As simple as that.
Do you have one in your pack?
Yeah. I have one. Here's a knife back of a soldier. Actually, no. Look into this because I packed for my friend. Tourniquet looks like. Good cat tourniquet. Awesome Chinese shit. And this can save somebody's life. Do they work 100% of the time? No. They work 95, 99, 98% of the time. I actually know what the actual stick is. I should be looking into this. But
Can you tell me how it's properly applied?
I wouldn't use this one because it's a one-time use.
Oh, really? It's a one-time use one
Yes.
because it stretches out the bands?
Yeah. It's guaranteed to use only if you use it for the first time.
The Seek ones as well? Siege ones?
Siege ones, yeah.
So that's just all the tourniquets are
Yes.
only guaranteed the first time. Oh,
No,
interesting.
we don't want to risk if I had a Chinese one, I'd show you, but
Okay, gotcha. So
so
this is Gen 7?
you put it on. I'm not gonna actually
Right.
do it, but you put it on a limb as high as you can get. You tie it, and then you until it stops bleeding.
Okay. So this is a Gen 7 CAT tourniquet stop bleeding, and we just delivered 20 of these available for y'all, and then 15 siege tourniquets, which are also cheaper, but they're harder to apply to yourself, which is why we want the cap tourniquets.
The siege ones we would use in our ambulance, no problem. The problem with my personal problem with the siege ones is that it's a little harder to get in the hook when you do it on yourself, especially with one arm. It's hard to do. If it's in your leg, it's easier. But yeah.
Since we just delivered like 20 of the CAT tourniquets, what are the odds do you think that this ends up saving someone's life because we have these available?
100%. I'm gonna save 20 lives. Because you use that.
At the moment, basically every single one that's available is going to be used right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have number of soldiers actually waiting to get the tourniquets. So the good ones.
Yeah. So I hope I can find some way that we continue supply chain as well.
That'd be great. I appreciate
it's
it.
very doable. Like anyone can do this. Anyone can actually find these. Literally can buy it on Amazon, show up with a backpack. Like anyone can be doing this.
$32.
Yeah.
Not that much. It's a cocktail in Europe.
Yeah. So the need's definitely there, and I can help like figure out wholesale supplies for other people who want to keep it going. And I've got to say, like, it's been really inspiring meeting people here. It really has been. And a lot of people have been like thankful and happy to contribute in this way. A lot of like local Ukrainians, and every time I'm just thinking about like they're really happy and like thankful for people coming in doing the short time. But every person who's staying here, they're living through this, and they are Ukraine as this is continuing to go on.
You remember the guy they joined us for lunch? First day we came, we took off a Chinese tourniquet off him. I also had a Chinese tourniquet. Now has a cat one.
So like literally, he was bleeding. He had a wrong tourniquet on.
No. That's not what I mean. He had it off of him, and he had it on his kit.
Yeah.
Before going to a position, and they were like, "What's this?" And oh, it's my tourniquet. No, it's not your tourniquet. It's trash. It's something that we're gonna set on fire later today. But yeah, that is an example of like that guy is most likely saved or will be saved in the future.
Yeah.
By a simple tourniquet.
Yeah. This is also something that I'm very curious about. So like the first time we called, literally you got on the phone and was like, "Hey, I'm concussed right now. I'm like in the hospital. Sorry if I'm like talking kind of slow." And you still got on the phone call after that.
I was still in the position. I couldn't get out, so I was like, "Hello."
Wait, so what even happened? I didn't even hear on that phone call. Like, what happened to you?
I was cleaning our car after an injury during the day, and we just do it like no kit. We just go and clean. You're not gonna put a fucking helmet and bulletproof vest to go clean a lot of your car. And I was inside, and the Russians started attacking with grenade launchers, 120 millimeters mm, and one hit near the car. So I ran out of the car and started running towards the nearest shelter. And the shelter was, I had to go like around the garage to go down there. When I walked or ran into a garage, it hit the garage and it collapsed with me being under it. And then and then I went to the shelter, waited a little bit. And then when it was safe, I went back to my house and I called you.
Wait, there's a moment missing there. You get saying I was hit by a grenade and a roof fell on me. Then I got up and I went to the shelter.
The roof, definitely the building was hit by a grenade.
Yeah. So something hit you and then...
Yeah. And the explosion was nearby, near my left ear, so I'm practically deaf on my left ear. I can hear a little bit now after medication. I was in the hospital for like a week, and they were using some new cool technology that I can get my hearing back, and I can hear a little bit, but I'm mostly deaf on my left ear.
And what actually like hit you? Was it like just smaller pieces of debris?
For the ear, it's mostly the explosion because it was on the left side.
That's why they tell you if an explosion happens, you're supposed to cover your ears and open your mouth.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, it'll blow your eardrums out.
Yeah.
Which happened to me. I covered my ears, but it was way too close. So even though it still hit me, and then I got hit by some bricks, whatever.
And those injuries.
Wear a helmet. Always wear your helmet.
And then the bricks didn't hurt you too bad. Right.
Fine. I mean, I'm a little crazy now, but it's fine.
Okay.
We're all crazy.
Yeah, I know. I know that.
I can understand my injured in a different way now. So I like that. I think it was a good experience for me as a combat medic.
It was a good experience to get hurt as a combat
I
medic.
took it as an opportunity to learn.
Okay.
Medic should always be brought up one time. Kidding. Kidding.
All right. I've got to say, it's one thing to hear it from the news, but also sitting in the car with you, one of my favorite moments was we were approaching a hill. You pointed at the hill and you said, "See that? That's where we're going to be really exposed to Russians. I'm going to reach there and then go really fast." And then you started blasting Highway to Hell. It was spectacular. So
We're actually not going to hell. Going to Peters. We're going to hell.
Stairway down a bit better.
Wow. Yeah, so I've got to say, like, for the entire world, this means a lot that we didn't expect this to be possible. Everything that's happening is a miracle right now, helped out by every person who's even just like in the country, helping out with the economy. People are on the front helping with medicine, people make deliveries. It's miraculous that, what is Russia, like 30 times as big as Ukraine or something like that? It's just like on the map, it's just the most giant behemoth next to this. Yeah. And the fact that basically just the fact that underdogs could survive like a horrible assault by standing in solidarity and having the right purpose that we are doing this for our families, for freedom, is an incredible inspiration for everyone. And
I hope so. I love my country.
yeah.
I
And
love your country too.
I as well. I want to come back. I would love to live in Lviv. Lviv is gorgeous. Like, honestly, I thought everyone would just be farmers. That's totally the impression. All you see is like blown up buildings on the news. You think everyone's going to be farmers. And then I go to Lviv and it's just like beautiful. People dancing in the street. It looks like people playing music and there's electric unicycles riding around and like really smart tech people. Some of the smartest tech people I've met here. It's really amazing. Yeah. Morgan Stanley, hire here. Do you think you would actually go back to banking?
I will.
You will. Okay. Is that something
I
you
have a
look forward
student
to?
loan.
Okay. Yeah.
I have a student loan in the U.S. U.S. Please take it for student loan.
They're forgiving some of it.
I love banking, though. That's the thing. I love my job. I didn't leave my job because I didn't like it. Because there are more important things to do at the time. And they've been very supportive. Like my company's been very, very, very supportive of me taking leave. They still keeping my work authorization. They're really good.
Wow.
So
you're gonna go back to New York City? You're gonna continue
I need
that job?
to. Yeah. So I'm actually flying to New York soon. Because I need to renew my work authorization.
Wow.
Buy some like medicine shit and then come back.
Wow. So from here, we're like an hour drive from the front.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Like
like
an hour
45 minutes.
Yeah.
Straight shot it.
If you go 180,
Which you do.
you guys are driving slow.
It's called. Well, I wasn't.
Okay. Imagine if today was really peaceful when we were driving those roads. Very peaceful. Like I was very surprised.
Yeah.
But usually you need to drive fast.
The one reason
I'm happy I was the driver.
the reason I needed the helmet was just the potholes that you would fly over, launching my head into the roof.
That's not my fault.
No, it's not. It was just a good thing that you told me to bring a helmet.
Okay. I need to leave.
All right.
I need to go get grocery shopping for tomorrow. I'm
Yeah.
gonna have like a little dinner tomorrow.
Yeah, is there anything I could help with the short time I have left?
What do you mean?
No, just like literally if it would save you time, like send me on an errand run or anything.
Oh, fine.
Okay.
Work on getting some tourniquets for us. We can do that.
Okay.
Some chest seals. And some copper gauze. We'll go from there. You can help spread the word out there about what's going on. I can tell you more later.
Mm.
Like what I told you earlier. Like what are we trying to fix with brigades they work with? How bad things are with individual supply.
Right.
And how important it is.
Yeah.
We're trying to. I just realized I'm literally doing what I was I was educated to do, because I have a degree in statistics, in computer science and computer statistics. I am minimizing the risks and making the statistics look better by actually performing some things. I want less people to die. I want people to come back to their families. I want to have people to live in Ukraine after the war. So that's what it's called.
Yes.
If you want to see my bag, the clinic is here. Easy access. First thing I need.
Yeah. And I really want people to remember, like, you can literally just donate $5 and ask 2 friends to donate $5, ask those 2 friends to donate.
Yeah.
Everyone's always waiting for these big institutions.
No,
but-
big institutions are not fucking helping here. That's the problem.
Right. So this is really proving, like, we can just call someone who's doing the work and directly fundraise among friends and buy some tourniquets off of Amazon, show up with a backpack. Anyone can be doing this. So I
Like-
appreciate that.
Fucking Red Cross is. I can't. Big organizations are.
Yeah.
No. So yeah, there's that. And the tampinated wound is here. Common gauze. Gauze for seal. They have any holes in their chest. Chest seals. They have problem breathing. Put this in their nose. Or their mouth if their nose is injured, broken.
So we brought chest seals,
Yeah.
we brought the
Combat gauze
tourniquets and
combat
combat gauze.
So, as I said, the most common reason for death is massive bleeding.
Mm.
You can bleed. Usually, you have massive bleeding 3 minutes max as you have, and tourniquet stops that. Combat gauze is used in case tourniquet's going to be used. For example, if you have an injury here, or here, there you can use a tourniquet, but you can still bleed to death in 3 minutes. You have to tamponade it. So you save the very first, this is the most common reason to die. Chest seals, obviously for the holes in your chest. Because there's a hole in the chest, there additional air comes in and out. Sorry, comes in but doesn't come out. And you have a potential of getting a pneumothorax, which can also kill you. Pneumothorax is quite a small amount of death right now, but if you don't, mostly because people put the chest seals on. People know there is a hole in it, so that people can breathe better. That's what you brought as well. And then this is definitely potential tourniquet. This is for if you have 2 amputations of like 2 legs or 2 arms, and you can do that at the same time. For burns, every injured we put in a thermal blanket. Just when they lose blood, blood temperature goes down. You don't want that. Have some infusions. Because infusions, systems, and have some medication here. For bleeding, for concussion, painkillers, for nausea, and antibiotics. Let's have this fancy thing, which allows me to give an infusion even if a person has lost a lot of blood and you cannot see the veins any longer. You put this directly in your in somebody's bone. It's extremely painful. If a person is conscious, I don't know how you'll do it. I've never done it in a conscious person. It's very expensive. It's like $3,000. But if a person is dying, we need to give an infusion. Lost a lot of blood. That's the only thing that could save them. Because we will not be able to put an IV. You will just not be able to see the vein at all. Small stuff like wound care. Everyone always comes with, I cut my whatever. Help me. Or have a vein there. Help it.
Oh yeah, and so your birthday tomorrow.
Yeah. That's fun.
I first asked you, what's your plan to celebrate your birthday tomorrow? And you said, stopping Russian aggression. You're also going to have cake, right?
I don't know yet. I have to go grocery shopping for a cake.
Okay, all right.
But I'm talking to you here because this is more important than a cake. So
we can go get cake.
no, I only eat my grandmother's cake. She's not here. Also, this shit. You know what this is?
No idea.
Atropine. You have a chemical attack. You inject it in yourself.
Wait, is that something that happened or a concern?
Something happened.
When did a chemical attack happen?
A lot of chemical attacks happen. No, not reported in the media.
Yeah,
And
no.
also, most of the media is now attracted to Bakhmut for whatever fucking reason.
There's chemical attacks ongoing around Bakhmut.
I frequently talk with the medics there. They did not recall a single time that it happened in the past few months.
Oh, so it's not around Bakhmut, but it's around Donetsk.
It's around Avdiivka.
A deep.
There we work. We drove around a town today, and I told you, I'll show you where the chemical attack last was. I should have pointed at this. Maybe you don't remember, but there was a chemical attack literally on there are a lot of civilians. You saw a lot of civilians there.
Mm-hmm.
So a chemical attack, 19 wounded civilians and doctors. They all had it was a chemical attack. And we didn't have a lot of atropine. So it's not good. It happens a lot in the area.
I do not think the world's aware of that. That was not easy for me to find out. God.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank
I also
you.
need to send, this is a first aid kit for my friend who
Wow.
needs it.
I know it's a lot to say. Is like you're literally with your hands physically saving lives and seeing the work you do. I'll have you know there's even more impact than that beyond what you see. Like just people knowing about the things you're doing. It's been encouraging for me personally and for a lot of people. Thank you.
Thank you for coming and bringing this supplies. Maybe next time I'll show you some of my blood videos. I just don't have. I have a GoPro. I recently bought. I have some videos in there.
Yeah, if you can send me any photos and
but
videos.
it's on my laptop because I trusted my laptop before. On my last time I was with my laptop.
Yeah.
And it's there now, so I don't have it.
Literally any photos and videos, you jamming out to AC/DC, something to know like you, Mary, and everyone's alive. And if you have like any photos, videos of work you're doing, like that'd be great. Because like kind of the intention of this, as you mentioned, is really just like so we kind of know what we're doing, and it's not just like far off big institution charity, which can be very important, but we need to know that we can do things ourselves directly.
I'll try to do that. We try not to take videos of evacuations if you can see soldiers' faces.
Mm-hmm.
Unless we ask for the consent to be in the video.
Yeah.
If it gets posted, which some of them don't have time for. So just try not to post a lot of that. But I do have some videos that would be okay to show to the world. But they have a lot of blood, so YouTube doesn't like that. No one likes that. Thank you.
Дякую. Слава Україні.